You are live with Dr. Chapa. Good morning, good day, whatever time you're tuning in. We are thrilled to have you. Hey, welcome to the program. Dr. Chapa Wellness is a podcast that I've been doing for years now where I love to teach people how to live better, be better, and, well, stay better, one bite at a time. Do you know that all life starts and stops at the cellular level? And nutrition is the fundamental backbone that helps your body get a grip. And if you eat well, if you detox well, if you think well, you'll perform well in life. And we'll start teaching you more and more practices about what we call the peak span. What is the peak span? That is how, not just how long you live, but the peak potential you have in life to be fully invigorated, vim, vigor, and vip, if you will. That onward, upward, goodward, and Godward mentality, that I'm not gonna stop just because I'm old. You know, age is only a number, so says the great Gary Knoll. And people really got a grip on their lip and realize that you are in more control of your health than you realize. And every week we come to you and teach you why your body's breaking down and what you can do to fix it. And that is what this podcast is all about. I want you to take this information, change your world, change your family's world. We have seen miracles upon miracles week after week of people's lives transformed by health, nutrition, and teaching practices that are ongoing, guys. This is not something that is a one and done deal. You've got to stay in the game constantly in order to maximize how your body is going to perform in today's modern world. Today's world is not set up for you to be healthy. It's just absolutely not. I think a lot of us are coming to see that, and meaning people are waking up to this idea that they are indeed in control of their health. But many people still don't know where to start. And there is a truckload of noise in the world today trying to tell you to do this and take this and do this cleanse and that cleanse. But what if you're not ready? You know, what if you're just at that inflammatory zone? What do you do? Where do you start? What if this is new to you? This is old hat for me, man. I've been practicing professionally for 21 years. This is my world. For many people, this is day one. And when's the best time to plant an oak tree? 20 years ago. But when's the second best time to plant an oak tree? Today, right now. And that's why this show's here. So do not be discouraged. Do not be condemned, for this is your opportunity to step up and take a swing at better health. And so I'm excited to bring to you guys a new world so that you feel good, you live good, you perform good day in and day out. But first, you know, tonight we'll talk about inflammation, and we can't get too far into an inflammatory talk without throwing some products and putting a little plug about drchapawellness.com and shop.justlivewell.com, which is our online store. Omega Force soft gels. Wow. Every case that I have ever worked on, I'm always using omegas in order to balance this out. We have a cool test that can show you where your imbalances are. Many people today don't realize it, but they have too many of the wrong omegas. That's the omega-6 inflammatory family, aka what we're talking about tonight. One of the ways to stop being inflamed is to stop putting omega-6 junk oils into the body. They should be in a 6-to-1 ratio, and right now they're like 30-to-1 to omega-6s, to omega-3s, and omega-9s, which is interesting because how did we get so far off beat? How did we get so far off track and find ourselves inflamed? Well, omega-4 soft gels is at the root of supporting and taking every tissue, cell, organ, gland in your body and touching it with an anti-inflammatory approach. Now, it does so much more than that. It's good for the brain. It's good for the cell membrane. Every tissue, cell, organ, gland in your body, which there's 38 trillion cells in your body today. Well, today, the reason I say that is because I just read a study out of a book last week that they said that there's 85. No, it wasn't a book. It was the documentary, the Maha movie, and the Maha documentary would Make America Healthy Again, which I think was a pretty good program. I would really encourage people to take advantage of looking at it. There's definitely more going on in your world today than you realize. That's a great way to just kind of understand. The first 4 episodes will really teach you how American healthcare, American politics, American insurance companies are really deceiving man and showing man the wrong path towards inflammation, where I'm trying to cool your jets and get you out of the inflammatory zone. You know, programs like that are good to show you how you even got to a place where we even have to talk like this and be so polar the other way. Okay, so very cool, but omegas are everything, right? So then the cell membrane has a fatty layer. Well, omegas support that fatty layer, and it allows what's outside that's not allowed in, preventing it to get in. That's how you get the inflammation down. Or if there's trash inside that needs to get kicked out, perfect balance of omegas will help deliver nutrients that can kick those junk chemicals and metals out of the body. So omegas really are the easiest thing you can do. Now, just buying a simple fish oil off the market is really ludicrous. You can't just do that because most of them are what we call ethyl esters. They need to be a reesterified triglyceride. They need to be proven, if you will, that they do what we want them to do. I want as close to just wringing out the fish as possible, and that's why I use the Omega Force from Orthomolecular, who has for years been serving me well in taking care of people's cells at the inflammatory level, those 38 trillion cells, or the Maha movie says 90 trillion cells. I'm just kind of curious, who's the guy that's counting this stuff? You know what I mean? That's what I want to know. I wish I knew how to count to a trillion, much less 38 trillion, much less 100 trillion, so whatever. So the second product is Greens Force, okay? Yeah, I am taking a little moment to plug these because people don't know how cool products are. But when we do detoxes in our office, we are all about phytonutrients and phytochemicals, those that have rich biophoton potential and energy enhancement in our cells. That's what this stuff's all about. Greens Force, again, shop.justlivewell.com. You can find it. And this thing has got 1.9 grams, almost 2 grams of a proprietary blend of anti-inflammatories, phytonutrients, phytochemicals from real food. Banana, orange, pumpkin, beet, kale, pineapple, raspberry, pomegranate, broccoli, spirulina, spinach, chlorella, collards, parsley, and kale. Really? You're gonna say no to that? I mean, little Johnny needs to eat his veggies, right? Get him to swallow these babies and he's got them. He's gonna get a truckload several times a day if he'll do it. And that's easy, easy, easy. You know, again, talk about inflammation, turmeric. Everybody knows today that turmeric is a really powerful tool. There's a lot of great cocktails people take in the morning to reduce inflammation, turmeric being a critical piece of those. It's in my anti-inflammatory herbals. It's in just this product here, Turmeric Force. Again, shop.justlivewell.com. 500 milligrams of a turmeric that will literally give you the curcuminoids that you need, the tamarin that you need in order to maximize the anti-inflammatory properties of your cells. Because again, we all find ourselves inflamed. I mean, I went out in the sun last weekend and I'm shocked. Like inflammation, you can get too much sun. Whoa, no, I'm not really shocked. Of course, if you get out in the sun too much, holiday weekends and whatnot, and guess what? You get sunburned. Well, you have resources and tools to help mitigate or calm down those inflammation points. Or if you go to an event and you get into inflammation, you can use something like the turmeric to reduce inflammation in your gut. We haven't even got to the joint pain people yet. Because if you have joint pain, by the way, I call that arthrongus. There's nothing rightus about it. So stop calling it arthritis because there's nothing rightus about it. And Turmeric Forte and the Omega Force and the Greens Force, shop.justlivewell.com will absolutely rock you. So sorry for the long plug, but I want you to be educated about this stuff, man. And this helps us dive in to the inflammatory pillar of good health. Inflammation Nation, how to cool the fire from within, understanding everyday inflammation and simple ways that you can maximize your overall health potential. So again, drchopwellness.com, you can go look at all of our podcasts, you can get enrolled in our communities, and I want you to, because when you understand that you're in control of your health and it's your life, your health, your choice, you will stop doing the things that got you inflamed and start doing the things that'll get you uninflamed. That's money right there, dude. That is gold. That's fire. That is absolutely off the schnizzle rizzle. And so I am excited. See, I got some Dr. Chapa slang too. All these young kids are like throwing out crazy words, and I'm going to throw out some crazy words tonight. So what is inflammation? Just picture inflammation, fire within. And it's unfortunately in this case, is not a good type of fire. So when you're lit up and excited about life like I am about teaching you how to live better, be better, stay better, that's fire in a good, positive way. Inflammation in I got injured. Inflammation in that I was sunburned. Inflammation in the fact that you got fire in your gut, an ulcer in your gut. These are indicators that your body absolutely cannot keep up with day in and day out. So you have to recognize that inflammation is your body's natural defense mechanism first and foremost. And then it helps fight off infections when you are irritated by bugs. It heals injuries. When people stub their toe, sprain an ankle, tweak a wrist, you get a janky neck, whatever you do to hurt yourself over the weekend, you weekend warrior. I love it. I love that you're moving and grooving. But the reality is you may need some health and restoration because of your craziness, which I'd love to hear. What's something off the chain cool that you did this past weekend that's a little edgy? That'd be kind of fun to hear. Just make it, appropriate. You know what I mean? I know some of you guys are really out there. So, but no, I'm just kidding. Short-term inflammation is helpful. So believe it or not, when people come in and they have long histories of inflammatory cascade problems, I'll actually go through and support the inflammatory cascade so that their body goes and heals and restores the old inflammatory injuries that they never got fixed. You see, your body's great at adapting, and it'll cover up injuries from the past. That's why that book, Body Keeps the Score, when you look at old injury patterns, it will sabotage a surgery. It'll sabotage current modern day healing pathways. It will dysregulate how your brain communicates to your feet and your toes to your nose. That feedback loop will get dysregulated or out of sync, and it will create a repetitious, ongoing, perpetual injury cycle where you're feeling like your body's genuinely falling apart. And I think this is why people feel old. But remember, age is only a number. So long-term inflammation is bad for the body, of course. We know that. And what's happening is people are living with inflammation. It's essentially they have bugs in their house. They've got kitty litter that hadn't been changed, trash that's not been taken out. And guess what grows in a dirty environment? In a warm, moist environment. By the way, you're the warm, moist environment. Bugs, parasites, bacteria, virus, yeast, all this stuff, and then we feed it, and they just have basically an unchecked frat party. That's not how you want to live your best life. So let's do something different. So acute versus chronic inflammation. Acute inflammation happens, of course, when you get an injury. I had an event recently, stub her toe on the back of somebody else's foot in a play. It was gonna swell up. She couldn't even walk on it. I mean, young girl shouldn't have any issues recovering from a little stub toe, but the reality is she had to hold onto a stick, a cane, and other people's arms. And so I was able to get in there and help her before she went back out for Act 2 so that she could finish her play. And, God used my love of helping and serving others to take and make sure the show goes on. The show always must go on. And she was a lead role, so that's kind of cool. But that inflammation is necessary. How you would handle that, right, is rest, ice, compress, and elevate, the Rice method, and that is how you fix that stuff. But when you're an athlete going out on the field, you don't necessarily have time for that. I remember Evan Mladenoff, the head team physician for the Kansas City Chiefs, would always tell me, he'd say, Chop, these are $1 million assets. You got to get them back out there in 10, 15 seconds. Here's how you do it, right? So we were over there lasering and resetting myotomes and doing all this cool stuff and giving them, anti-inflammatory herbals right there on the side of the field. And it was really rad to watch how the man worked. And what's more fascinating is a lot of these players didn't even take advantage of it. Why? Ignorance. They just didn't know the power of laser therapy. They didn't understand the power of herbal medicine. And it goes back to what I said a minute ago, because of miseducation from the powers that be that are controlling the narrative. So you just got to realize chronic inflammation is that lasts for years, months, and left unchecked leads you to internalized energy. That's called fatigue, because you don't have the output energy to go out and do what you love. Your body hurts. Your body's storing energy, and you will maybe even have reoccurring injuries or symptom patterns like headaches in this case. So inflammation chronically is a real issue that people are dealing with on the regular. So I'm constantly teaching people how to get this under control. I even look at it in blood work and high levels of C-reactive protein, high alk phos, high levels of, low levels of minerals, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus ratio imbalances. I can see inflammation happening. Now, of course, if your liver enzymes are high, of course, that's going to be an issue of inflammation. But what if your liver is not displaying on the dashboard? Well, how do you know that you're inflamed? Because you have symptom patterns that you were not genetically born with. Everyday signs that you might relate to that your body's inflamed. Feeling tired even after sleeping. If you wake up more tired than after you went to bed, that is a problem. That's trouble. Trouble. Let's not go there. If you have frequent headaches and you can't understand why, you don't know what you're doing wrong, but it always is just bothersome and it's hard to squint through your eyes to know or to listen to your boss, tell you what you need to be doing, and you're moving really quick, or you think you are, but you're really not, because your brain is internalizing energy trying to control and mitigate the damages of high inflammatory fires that have been left unchecked. This is real disease. This is real chronic issues that people are dealing with day in and day out. So listen, guys, we can control this. Joint pain after sitting too long. You should be able to go for a car ride and not have ankle issues or knee issues or hip issues getting out the car. I'm assuming you didn't like fall asleep in a twisted weird position like on an airplane. That, oh gosh, you ever done that and took a red eye and wake up the next morning feeling like, oh my gosh, like what happened? You thought the sleep was good, but the pain in the neck was worse. Brain fog during stressful weeks. When you have constant finals or high demands at your job and your brain is constantly being taxed, that is driving inflammation up just by exercise. Your brain is a muscle too, in a sense, and you got to practice pushing it and stressing it in a healthy way. And that is called eustress. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be challenged and stressed at your job. Don't take it to that level. No. We want to keep you sharp. We want to keep you moving in a way that is high energy mental processing speed. And so bloating after meals, especially after processed meals, you're unbuttoning the button and you can't even make it home before you got to go potty. So guess what? That is everyday indicators that your body is inflamed. I would love to hear what is going on in your life. Put it in the comments below. What are you inflamed by? What is hurting? Is it belly pain after you eat? Do you wake up nauseous? Do you wake up at night to pee? Do you wake up hot at night? That's a classic one, right? So it isn't simply these. There's so many. It could be high blood pressure. And so we know that your body is giving you check engine lights. So I think reviewing what those check engine lights, and we have cool surveys at justlivewell.com that you can go to and you can fill out a quick survey and determine if you have inflammation affecting your sleep, or affecting allergies, or affecting your mitochondria, which essentially are key areas to address on the regular. So you could check in with yourself every week, every month, every 6 weeks in order to make sure that you're on track. And guys, you can't expect what you don't inspect. So let's make sure that we are inspecting the health patterns and symptom patterns that we all have. I just did a gallbladder flush. I passed like 20 gallstones, some of them the size of my pinky nail, and I'm just like shocked, like, wow, where's it coming from? Well, that's easy. I mean, the air we breathe, I drive past, and you drive past people that have tires, right? Where does tire rubber go? Where does the dry cleaning go? Where do those chemical plant smokestacks go into the air, and who's breathing it? You, me, we. And so when you come home, and a lot of people do not keep their doors open, the air inside your homes is 10 times more toxic than the air outside, even if you relatively are crunchy and organic, because the inside floors are mitigating, the paints are mitigating, the insulation in your old home is mitigating. Again, like kind of the analogy earlier, there is no way. I used to tell my daughter this, that I used to do a lot of food allergy testing. I don't do as much anymore because I've got a rhythm on teaching people where to start before they spend several $100s on a allergy test. Not that I don't do allergy tests, but I find that a lot of times there's just easier, more cost-effective ways to get people better. So I don't run tests on every single patient, but interesting, in the olden days with food allergies, cockroach allergies used to show up, and I'm like, that's gross. Like, who plays with cockroaches other than people that own reptiles? And the only reason I know that is because I owned some reptiles and I had to buy cockroaches. I was like, I cannot believe I'm literally bringing cockroaches into my house. This is stupid. However, we don't have the lizards anymore. You cannot have a tropical creature in a Houston home where you need 70-degree temperatures at night. They don't live like that. They want tropical, humid temperatures. And no matter what I did to keep their ecosystem healthy, it was impossible. So I'm not that guy. I'm into dogs and cats. I mean, that's what I'd be more going to, something easy. But cockroach dust was on the list. Why would people have a cockroach allergy? And why the heck were they testing it? And why were people playing with it? Because my mom hates reptiles. But it came to realize is the cockroaches are running on your counters at night. You can't get rid of bugs, guys. They're in your house. And don't even think for a second that you don't have bugs. In your temple, your body, which is why you need to detox regularly, and in your home. And so they're running across your counters at night. I know this is disgusting. They're running in your drawers, and they're getting all over your silverware, and then you're over there going, rat, roach poop. And maybe not to that extent, but it's mitigated and it's small. But again, what if you have an allergy to that? Driving inflammation. It's toxin. They are nasty creatures. And so I think I'm gonna have to talk to God about that. I'm curious, why, God, why? They're so nasty. Everything about it's nasty. But anyway, I know it's part of the ecosystem. But if we are pesticiding And then, of course, high fructose corn syrup, food dyes, of course, and MSG. So when you go to a fast food chain, which you can probably determine which that is based on that sandwich size, that is absolutely positively chocked with all the stuff that will hurt your brain, inflame your tissues, disrupt your mitochondria, and cause you to have major health crisis over time. One meal can affect you for 3 to 4 days. And if you eat a meal that size and at one time on Monday and one time on Thursday, essentially Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is affected from the Monday insult, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is affected inflammatory wise from the Thursday insult. So your whole week is shot off of 2 meals, and there's 35 meals in a week. So I say often that 2 meals shouldn't throw you into an inflammatory state, but if you're compounding that with your body's own toxic load and accumulation over time, because nobody's teaching you how to detox, no one's teaching you how to clean your lymph system, liver system, kidney system, your brain and nervous system. I change cases through these programs because if you get it, if you really get it, and I'm proud of those that do, because I'm not disappointed, I'm just shocked at people that don't understand maintenance. We have to maintenance our body, and it's sad when people choose to just go this way because it's easy and convenient. It's cost effective. Man, you pay now or you pay later. I mean, when you get into this stuff, it's going to wreck your sleep. When you get into this stuff, it's going to disrupt how you age. And if you get into this stuff, it's going to alter how you move. And if you alter how you move, the dude don't groove. So that is a major deal. So pollution, environmental toxins are everywhere, in your food, in your drink, in the food you're eating. So let's choose better. Let's choose better, okay? So let's have some fun. A relatable example, the busy office worker works long hours. Do you know that when you work long hours, that's inflammatory to your body? When you eat fast food, we already talked about that, inflammatory to your body. And that's why you afternoon crash people, you have an inflammatory burden, an inflammatory cascade that is out of control. So we've got to get you off that slippery slope back on the right path. If sleeping only 5 hours, under 6 hours a day, you are going to set yourself up for failure. Now, I am a firm believer that we need a minimum of 6 up to 7.5, even 8.5, 9 hours of sleep on a weekend or something. But really, 6 hours is bare minimum. 7.5 is ideal in order to get your body the time it needs to recover. I had a patient so chronically fatigued, so inflamed that she literally would sleep 18 hours a day. That's pretty inflamed. That's how much sleep it required for her body just to get back to ground zero so she could function a little bit. I had a CEO one time, she only could make it to 12 o'clock p.m. sunrise, say 6 to noon, and she was spent for the day. Had to hire a driver, a personal shopper, somebody that would help her cook, clean, and bathe herself. And she was a high-level executive. And I kid you not, this was one of my first cases that walked in. I'm like, I don't know if I can fix that, but I discovered how to get the food crisis under control, how to get her resting and digesting, her parasympathetic cleansing system to activate, and see her go from no bandwidth after that noon hour to 3 p.m., to 5 p.m., to 8 p.m., to where now that her and that worker that she had hired to care for her became a good friend. That's pretty rad. Very switch tables. So when you feel constantly tired and run down, and you feel like you can't make it through the day without rocket fuel, that's stimulants, that's those 24-hour energies, that's that constant need for some kind of sugar. That is what we're trying to teach you how to feel better day in and day out. So don't be like the people that are falling asleep at the job or passing out in the meeting or wishing they can't get to 5 p.m. Be like the people that are energized with small tweaks, 1 degree of change. That's all we're looking for. Foods that help cool the fire from within. Hey, this is a good call. So let's break it down further. Fruits and vegetables. When you really, it should be vegetables and fruits, because vegetables to fruits 1 ratio is how you should consume anti-inflammatory nutrition and phytonutrients and phytochemical rich nutrition. So vegetables high, fruits low, and we want the lower fructose burden. If you are curious and want some of our teaching and training, put sugar in the comments below, and I will send you my inflammation reduction program. It will teach you how to detox inflammation out of your system, and it'll give you some more cool data, cool booklet that I put together for people to just make better choices day in and day out. And it will lead you to our community where you can be an active member of the wellness tribe. Isn't that exciting? This is what I hope every champion in the wellness world does, is to find at the root of it is Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. We want to be your number one health and wellness resource for all your health and wellness needs, because we believe we've been teaching this for 21 years and we've seen miracle upon miracle, and we're constant and consistent pushing you to be better. This is what it's about, guys. So fatty fish like salmon, good for you. All fish is good for you, really. It's not fried, and fast food fish ain't good for you, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real food, guys, that is non-inflammatory, that's rich in nutrients, that builds you, not that destroys you, and makes you feel alive and well inside and out. So nuts, seeds, olive oil, all good for us, except that just don't overconsume, and definitely don't get into roasted nuts. That's the fastest way to kill a monkey, they say, is to feed them roasted nuts. No, really to shoot them, but don't do that either. So, but roasting your nut, peanuts, cashews, pistachios are the most commercialized roasted nut out there, and they are highly inflammatory. They are dysregulatory to that omega-6, omega-3 ratio fat balance we're trying to get under control. So there are definitely plenty of good seed options out there that are very healthy and nutritive to your body. I would steer towards those. Olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, butter, bacon grease, beef tallow, all still very good in the realm of supporting the anti-inflammatory cascade. And yes, some of the seeds, for example, are omega-6, but there's a difference between commercial roasted adulterated omega-6s and the omega-6s and that really your body was designed to operate from. And so yes, anything can be too much, but you shouldn't be overindulging in nuts and seeds anyway. Green teas and turmeric, again, turmeric forest, baby, right here. This stuff gives you all the curcuminoids you need and all the different support you need to decrease those inflammatory cascades. Green tea and many other herbal teas are phenomenal for decreasing inflammation in the body. And when you do a detox and you use things like green tea and turmeric with the detox, it really does help a lot in just maximizing your anti-inflammatory potential. Drinking enough water. Really, should I even have to go here? I mean, I had a 31-day email newsletter campaign that was nothing about water. You're not sick. You're thirsty. Please, you got to get that. I'm not yelling at you, but I did. I'm sorry. However, the truth is your body is crying for water. Are you listening? You're supposed to be consuming 1 liter per 50 pounds of body weight, and with a lot of minerals, a lot of electrolytes day in and day out. Caffeine depletes you. Processed food depletes you. Growing, I was just talking about daughter the other day, growing depletes you. And so you may need to listen to your body. So the thing with her, she said to me, Dad, I couldn't sleep. I took, the supplements like you said, and I couldn't fall asleep. And I said, okay, well, how about this? Every 7 minutes that you can't fall asleep, take another dose of my Sleep Force. That's on my website too. Or take, my Mineral Force. And what will happen is if inside, or Mag 3 and 8, inside of 7 minutes, if you're not asleep, dose again. Well, let's say she had to do 3 doses, so 21 minutes to fall asleep. Or if you're an hour person and every 7 minutes you're dosing, the next night, take what it took to get you to fall asleep. So 1 hour turns into 30 minutes, 30 minutes turns into 15, 15 turns into 7. You should be asleep within 7 minutes of hitting the pillow. As soon as that you put that, your electronics away from your head, you make your room a sanctuary where you don't have all that annoying stimulation from artificial lights or cell phones or blue light or scrolling and all the bad habits that America's painted as good habits and got y'all staying up too late and not getting that growth hormone detox pathway of natural means that your body should be doing day in and day out. You would find that your body would hold minerals right, and then when you drink your water, you get the benefits. So I had a patient this week who had back pain so bad, and she swears she drinks plenty of water. And I said, no, you don't. And she goes, no, I do, seriously. So I'm like, okay, you're right, I believe you. Because when a person's willing to fight for their story, I'm going to believe you. Why would I call you a liar? Except that she tested to have low minerals. So when you have low minerals, you can't hold the water in the extracellular space, and that creates a problem. So water is huge, but minerals are also very valuable in this case too. Foods that add fuel to the fire. We talked about sugary drinks. We talked about high processed fast foods. Any of these sit down fast food joints or direct fast food that you drive through are always going to be chalked with the 4 deadly food additives, and they're going to be wrecking your inflammatory health every which way to Sunday. So I would highly avoid it. I don't think it is even worth it. Sorry, not even, I don't want to say it out loud, but no disrespect, but not even the holy chicken place. Can't even do it. Excess fried foods will wreck you, period, end of discussion. Too much alcohol is poison to you. Absolute truth. You got to grab it. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. I understand you're going to go out and drink. I understand, but that's why you have turmeric force. That's why you have greens force. That's why you have omega force. And I just go back to this because if you're practicing the way, you have resources to mitigate the inflammatory damage that your body's going through because you're torturing it or poisoning it or you're stressing yourself out. And excessive refined carbohydrates. We live in the only country that thinks that eating all these delicacies 11 times a day is a good idea. That was a bad bill of goods sold to every American for generations, that we needed 6 to 11 servings of grains every day to be healthy. Listen, the Egyptians proved that it causes heart disease. The American Heart Association is 100 years in the making. They have been around for 100 years as of 2025, and they're still the leader. The heart disease is still the leading cause of death in this country. That is not entirely true. Actually, abortion is, which is even a bigger problem. And I'm definitely, hey, not to get on a soapbox, but until we get that right, America's got major problems. And so we need to be thinking about that. However, when it comes to actual medical issues like that break the body, heart disease leads over 750 to 800,000 deaths a year. And the American Heart Association leads the way in the number one, death toll and not being able to fix it. And they've been around 100 years. So I always say, how do you suck at your job and still be around for 100 years? I have no idea. Because if I didn't get any results, people wouldn't come see me. I wouldn't be around for 21 years. And I'm not trying to pick on them. I'm just telling you there's a better way, because what they taught my dad killed him. What they are teaching a lot of Americans isn't helping. And so I want to teach people how to do better. And that's why I'm in practice. That's why I do this stuff. And so stop living off the same narrative that everybody else is, that is suffering with symptoms and disease processes. So the power of sleep and stress management. Do you know number one ways to decrease inflammation in the body is to get a good sleep cycle happening? Poor sleep increases inflammation because growth hormone is not produced. Every hour that you go to bed before midnight produces double your growth hormone. That's pretty awesome. When you get good deep sleep, if you stay asleep through the night and you don't have wicked, wild, bizarre, funky, exotic dreams, and you're not hotter than a pistol, and you wake up feeling refreshed, inflammation's down. Your body gets so much great work done for you at night, assuming that you wake up refreshed, assuming that you're not waking up to pee, assuming that you don't have joint pain getting out of bed in the morning, because inflammation is a sign of pain and a bad night of sleep. So if you wake up at night to pee, you're not sleeping good, period. Even once. If you wake up with nightmares, you're definitely not sleeping good. This is your body's check engine light. Listen to it, pay attention to it, and come get help. We got answers. So again, another stress survey on our justlivewell.com website that you can tap into very easily to just assess your sleep and to see if you're actually inflamed or not inflamed. And it's a great way to check in with yourself. Remember, you can't inspect what you don't expect. And so I want to teach you guys how to do what we are going to do to keep you moving forward. Deep breathing, walking, stretching, journaling, all important. We need to aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. And each night we do that. I have a regiment that I'll talk about in some of our sleep classes about how to get you into the deepest, best possible sleep you can imagine. So move your body, calm the fire. Woo-wee. Exercise reduces inflammation naturally. Walking 20 to 30 minutes daily helps you activate that lymph system. Stretching improves circulation. Small, consistent habits is everything. If the dude don't groove, the dude don't. If the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. So you've got to make sure you're moving and grooving. Now, if you don't have a beautiful beach, hey, don't worry about it. I was in my backyard this morning working out. I was in my garage on this weekend, a couple weekends ago when it was raining, pouring and outside. So find a spot, move and groove. There's plenty of ways to stay in the game and to keep your body fully alive. When you are actively moving and flushing the pipes, your system needs this movement, so we have to flush that inflammatory fire out. Okay, so simple daily habits that make a difference. Drink more water, add vegetables to every meal, take short breaks throughout your day. Just go to the bathroom and just look yourself in the mirror and encourage yourself in the Lord. That's Jude chapter 1, verse 20. But you, beloved, building yourself up on your most what? Holy faith, keep yourself in the love of God, looking for the mercy of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ unto eternal life. Praise be to the Lord. Glory to God. Thank you, Jesus. Hey, add a vegetable today. Take a short walk, splash some water in your face, stir your spirit, reduce the screen time, and you will feel better and better as your body unwinds. Practice stress relief habits day in and day out, and you will thrive in a world that's trying to make you sick. I'm excited to see you guys thrive, and I hope you set good goals. Inflammation is normal, but chronic inflammation is not. Small daily choices make all the difference. And inch by inch, they say, is a cinch. Yard by yard, they say, is hard. So let's not wait to have to pull an oak tree out of your yard with respect to disease, metaphorically speaking. Let's pluck those weeds. Let's get things pulled up early so that your body can have improved energy, have improved vitality, have longevity and peak span in a way that is offering you, your family, generationally, the resources and tools to be better people. Let's build better genes by making sure all this stuff is working well. So if you want, I have a hunch that based on what I'm seeing here, that my QR code is going to be disrupted by that my little logo, so we may have to just drop a link in the chat, but you can click the link in the chat in this case, and we'll figure out how to maybe update this where that QR code will pop up, and you'll have access to it right here on the screen with your cell phone. Normally, that's how we have it. Today, it looks like I just accidentally put the border in front a little bit on that edge, so my apologies. However, we will get it in the link below. We have a master's class, and this is all about you just taking this last piece of consistency, not being perfect, but to take your body's health seriously and into your own hands. So guys, thank you very much. Looks like I did it. I was smart and put it on the back page here. So I appreciate your time, your interest, and I look forward to seeing you live your best, be your best, day in and day out. This is Dr. Chapa Wellness. I'm excited that you would share this message with your friends, family, and loved ones. I get so excited to know how to come to you, teach you, to be everything that God's called you to be every week. So this is for you. This class can sometimes be run a little long. I try to talk fast and give you more than you paid for. And here we are. Get to the Chapa. And remember, Dr. Chapa loves you.